Alright, we're going to be looking at a retro gaming showcase here. Most people in retro gaming know what this is. This is a Nintendo Entertainment System from 1985, commonly known as the NES in America. And for many years, and to many people still today, known as a Nintendo. However, this is the Nintendo in Japan, released in 1984. The Family Computer was the NES in Japan. And we are going to take a look at this, see if we can get it set up on our TV here, and play around with it a little bit. Now, aside from the form factor, there are a few other differences. They don't directly play games back and forth. Similar to the Super Nintendo and the N64, it uses physical compatibility for region changes. The other big note is that the controllers are hardwired to the console. And this is not AV modded, so this uses an RF adapter. The challenge, and what I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use this TV, is that the Famicom runs through channel 99, even with the American adapter that I have. Now, one of the cool things about the Famicom is that there are a ton of accessories for this that we never saw over here for the NES. One of the cooler ones is Family Computer Basic, which included a keyboard and allows you to actually use it as a computer writing basic programs. Getting one complete in box is a long-term goal for the museum. However, there is no English translation, and it's something that I would really not be able to play with too much. There's also a cassette tape add-on, because this was the era when computers would load data from cassette tapes. That stupid thing is ridiculously expensive, even for one that is broken. That would be like long-term. So like, we thought Rob was cool, and the Power Glove and Miracle Piano. Like, Japan had just incredible other stuff that they did with this. Lifting the lid off. So over here later on, Nintendo did themed Game Boys in the classic or Famicom colors. This is that color. It's the red and white as opposed to the gray and gray that we got over here. I have not been to Japan. I don't know if the Famicom is as iconic over there as the NES is to us. It's never really felt like it, but I don't know well enough for sure. Pulling it out. I do have a manual in here. And if you're not sure what one of these guys is, which actually I'm not sure on this, because there should be something there. Opens up. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That was not what I was expecting either, so I don't know if this is just broken or something that I'm not familiar with. In general, this is how you would hook a gaming console to a really old UHF TV before coax came out. You would put this onto the antenna screws, and then this would have a coax connection that you could then plug your RF modulator into. So I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm guessing, yeah, I don't know. Don't know on that one. So yeah, like, this is the entire cord. They are 3 feet, but because they're attached, you never lose a controller. The hilarious thing is that over here in the US, parents always used to set yardsticks in front of the TV so that we could not be closer than 3 feet. Whereas in Japan, you couldn't be farther away than 3 feet, because that's all the controller you had. So to put the game cartridge in, you flip this up, put your game in, and then similar to the Super Nintendo, you have an eject slider. which literally all it does is just flip the arms up and eject the cartridge. So the NES top loader and the Super Nintendo were really more of true successor to this guy. I also realized that I did not put my RF switch in the box. I thought I did. So I need to go dig that up. The one that this came with was broken, and it has disappeared. That port in the front is for the basic keyboard. Alright, I'm gonna go dig through my box of cables because I'm pretty sure I know where that is. Alright, so I did a little bit of playing around. The VCR, which I don't have a remote for, only goes from channel 120 to 125, so that didn't work. So I put it on the TV, managed to get the TV to channel 95. And now there are no light, there's no power light, there's nothing on this, but we have life, and it works. And as I think about it, I don't think I have anything to actually hold the phone for me to play it. Okay, that should give us at least a little bit of a play demonstration. Turn it down. So obviously it does not look as good as the NES because the NES runs through AV. This is not a AV modded Famicom. No, seriously. I don't really play 100% SMB. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually played 4.3. So, it's extremely responsive, but the AB buttons on the Famicom controller are rubber instead of the hard plastic on the NES. The NES buttons are actually concave, so your fingers kind of lock into them. Don't know how I'm not dead there. Okay. Don't ask me how I remember top down. It just is like literally with muscle memory. It's what we call muscle memory. Okay. So that is the original Super Mario Brothers, which I can't actually see the camera right now from this angle. So let's get to where I can see here. So there we go. So the game, the cartridges are different, so the box art is different. So it just opens up to a tray with the manual, and then you just put the card in there, close it up, and you're all good. So I've been looking to play Super Mario Brothers 3 and picked up a complete Famicom copy off eBay for just only like a couple bucks more than a loose NES copy. And we've got the book. But again, I cannot see anything because of my privacy guard. And our cartridge. So, this is the reason that we are playing around with the Famicom today. Because I bought Mario 3 and I want to play Mario 3. That is why the Famicom is out of storage and why we're taking a look at it. So, let's see. Nothing. It's gonna make me blow on it, isn't it? even for a top loader. Watch. Yep. Looks perfectly fine. So if you watch speedrunning, wow, that was a slow load. If you watch speedrunning and you watch GDQ and they talk about running stuff on Japanese for glitches or quicker text box, this is what they're talking about. Like, this is the Japanese version, but there's not really any text. Like, this is pretty straightforward. Like, there's not really like any text that I'm missing by I definitely think the NES loads those levels faster. So I would like to pick up some more Famicom stuff. It's not usually super expensive if you're either willing to wait for it to be delivered from Japan. I paid $25 for this shipped from a US seller, so you can get pretty decent deals. Also, with most games releasing in Japan earlier, you do sometimes notice some differences. I swear the placement of that door is different, because in the NES version it's all the way to the right. So you do get some differences through the versions. It does look like, no, I guess maybe not. I'll say it did look like the picture was kind of off-centered to the right, but it's still just really cool. And in storage, I do have the Famicom disk system, of course. He was on the platform, but decided to just eat my jump. Something that was definitely not fixed in the NES version of this game. Famicom disk system, I am looking for a reasonable copy of Doki Doki Panic. I had bought one. The disc did not work when it got here. I do have a copy of the real Super Mario Brothers 2, known over here as the Lost Levels. At some point I want to get a copy of Super Mario USA. I like a fire flower. Can I duck in here and grab a fire flower? Okay, there's one. Sweet. That's literally all I really need. And that's literally the first spot. We know it's the king has been transformed. Find the magic wand and change him back. I mean, am I speedrunning this in a way that the Japanese difference would make any difference? No, it's not. It is purely because the Famicom is something that was not released over here, and a lot of the stuff is cheap and uncommon, and it's just really cool. That's why I like it. That's why I want it. Hitbox. Jeez. See if I can do this without dying. Nope. Wow. Hitbox, man. Hitbox. Jeez. That also does highlight another change in version. In the US version, you don't go back to stage 1 if you take a hit from stage 3. So if that had been the US version, I would have lost the Fire Flower, but I still would have been Big Mario. In the Japanese version, you go right back to stage 1, Tiny Mario. Nintendo's game designers in the 80s really did not think very much of American gamers. Of course, we didn't know that at the time, but knowing what we know now, they really dumbed a lot of stuff down before they sent it over here. And it worked. It totally worked. Here's a letter from the princess that I don't know what it says, nor do I care. I got the P-Wing. I just wonder. Haha, missed me. And then I missed the note block. Oh, and now he's coming. Now he's coming. Oh. Okay. Okay. The last thing I want to show you before I let you go here is the comparison between the two controllers and what I mean. On the Famicom, A and B buttons are rubber and they're flat. But on the NES, they're concave, so your hand can just seat into it. The NES controller feels a lot more comfortable, although I will say the Famicom controller is extremely responsive. But that's the other difference. Overall, it's something that I'm really happy to have, and it's really cool. You don't see a lot of them in the US. There aren't a lot of collectors because of the language barrier. It's mostly speedrunners and people that really like the Japanese stuff. So it's not something you see every day, but something I am super happy to have in the archive. So I will go ahead and let you go. Thanks for watching. Follow, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are saving physical media one person at a time. Save the past and preserve the future. Thanks for watching.